Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Game 2 in a best of 3 between Gnef and Gallo-Neal, and this is the third place final in the Great Paradox Tourney. In the previous game we saw Gnef defeat Gallo-Neal to go 1-0 in the series with his 2nd Infantry versus the 12th SS Panzer of Gallo-Neal. And before we move on, there was something interesting to mention about Gallo-Neal's 12th SS Panzer, and that was that he never uses the Boiter Cromwell and the Boiter Firefly. He actually told me himself, and that is an extremely interesting strategy, especially when it comes to like most people's thoughts on the 12th SS. Like, those units are generally what people play the division for. So having a strategy that doesn't rely on those is actually very intuitive and interesting, and that definitely food for thought amongst you guys. So make sure you tell me what you think of that in the comments. But either way, today we're going to be seeing Gallo-Neal on the 6th Airborne versus Gnef's Panzer Lehr, and this is Pegasus Bridge, probably one of my favourite maps in Steel Division. Now, Gnef has gone ahead and put down a lot of his units already, so let's check out what's going on this side. We have the half tracks with Panzergrenz. There is the 251-21, which is a very interesting unit. It's a half track with multiple 20mm cannons on the front of it, I believe, which adds up to 18 HE. It's almost like a Tripolston on a half track, which is pretty nuts. We've also got the addition of a spear troop there with the infantry, probably Aufklärer in the Kubel MG. Further down, another 251-21 with the Panzergrenz in the half-track and another Kubel MG with recon. Then there is the Panzergrenz with the MG42. And further down, we see the 2341 with the half-track with the Panzergrenz. Now, one thing that I was thinking about with the matchup between the 6th Airborne and the Panzer Lehr was how Tetrarchs might match up to the Pumas. At close range, Tetrarchs will defeat Pumas, in theory, due to the faster aim time. However, I feel like Gnef is not going to bring them in. He hasn't brought one in at the start, and that's generally something that shows that's not going to happen. But we'll see. I think it might be Gnef's prerogative here to use the 2341s instead of the Pumas, due to the Tetrarchs actually only having 3 armor, and it makes them decent at these engagement ranges for killing off those Tetrarchs. Like 20mm autocannons against low armored vehicles can definitely do a lot of work. But if we jump over to Gallo-Neal's units quickly, we can see what is most likely airborne scouts with the command infantry there. There's also a 2-star 6-pounder. We have some elite infantry, either airborne Bren group or airborne paras, most likely Bren group for this bottom side. For the town, we have some more elite infantry, couple squads coming down from this top side with the Pathfinders in there and the command infantry and Piet squad. And on the very top side, we've got the airborne pack being brought in. Interesting to see that being used at the start of the game. With the airborne scouts, we have some infantry in there, the command infantry, sorry, and some more elite infantry. So looks like the airborne scouts just about managing to get into that building. Let's see how much ground Gallo-Neal can make in this town though, as he has already found himself 52% territory lead. That is a nice little lead that Gallo-Neal has got at the start of the game, and I feel like it's going to be pretty hard for Gnef to displace the infantry in the town areas. He's going to have to find a way to do so with his half-tracks throughout this game. 251-21 is going to be opening up onto the airborne paras, and already we see an action-packed game. And if you didn't see the last one, definitely go check it out, because it was action-packed throughout the entirety of it. But airborne paras there really not liking the fire from this 251-21, but it is allowing the Panzergrenz to move up, and they'll possibly get into this church, which will then allow them to engage all of the infantry surrounding them. But the other side of that is that they will be able to be fired upon by all of the infantry surrounding them. Airborne scouts revealing themselves up here to the Panzergrenz. Looks like Gallo-Neal is just going to be retreating those from the building and trying to put them onto return fire. because he doesn't want those to be revealed. But it looks like he can't help that. Ox and Bucks on this bottom side going to be forced to fall back by the 251-21 fire. And these Panzergrenades, surprisingly, are still not pinned down. We see them now hitting the airborne leader as well, and that's not something that Gallo-Neal will want at all on that mid area. On the bottom side, airborne scouts seem to have taken some fire from the 2-3-4-1. Airborne Bren Group now and the airborne leader now opening up onto Panzer Grenadiers. MG42 in the open has got range onto the airborne Bren Group, but isn't going to be doing too much to the 3-star veterancy of that unit. In this middle area though, with the pin onto the airborne leader, the 251 is going for the surrender onto the airborne Paras, will not find it. Airborne P does actually hit the half track. Gets the crew wounded though, doesn't find the kill. Second shot misses, even though the 251 is not moving. Third shot is going to find the kill. So 3 out of 6 Piats used and 1 kill. Onto a half track, no less. Either way, stops the surrender of those airborne Paras, so that was quite nice. Airborne Bren Group now engaging the Panzergrenades at range. I'm surprised not to see the 251-21 and the Kubel MG getting involved, but it might be due to Gnef's line of sight onto this airborne pack. Let's see if we can see that. He must have seen it previously. He can see it now, and that would be due to this Aufklärer. So that would be why Gnef isn't moving these 2 units round the corner to engage the infantry, because the airborne pack would get involved, and that would not end very well. But on this bottom side, it seems as though the airborne Bren Group have got a bit overzealous, moved forwards, tried to engage the Panzer Grenadiers, came under fire from the 20mm auto cannon and the MG42. Airborne leader though, going to be now under fire from the Panzergrenades. This is not good at all. Gallo-Neal does not want to use his airborne leader, but they can't be counted out. They do have nice HE at close range and decent veterancy as well, so they could find the kill. Last 2 men get surrendered. Nice job there by the airborne leader. Didn't get itself killed, and that is going to have to be retreated probably to this tree line here to make sure that it doesn't come under fire from any 20mm or the MG42 in future. Airborne Bren Group still in a pretty dodgy position there, falling back in front of the MG42. Are going to find their way back into friendly territory, but this MG42 currently causing a pretty large salient. Mosquito Pathfinder did come in on this top side to napalm the Panzergrenades, but a reply from Gnef with the Panzerwerfer. Can that find the kill onto the airborne pack? That would be very big. He does indeed. That is 100 points down the drain for Gallo-Neal. That is a huge loss, and not just because he lost 100 points, but also because it allows the 251-21 and the Kubel MG to just run all over this infantry, especially with the help of 2 2-3-4-1s that are zooming down the road currently. Mosquito Pathfinder flying about. Gnef still has these Panzergrenades in this church. I cannot believe it. Ox and Bucks, though, are going to be engaging that from a dodgy angle. But the 251-21 has found line of sight. So I can't see that engagement really going in favour of the Ox and Bucks unless the Mosquito Pathfinder comes down and finds the pin. 6-pounder. Rolling up here, does have 3-star veterancy. Can he find the kill onto the 2-3-4-1 without getting it killed? Yes, he can. Second shot does the job. 2-3-4-1 is down. On the top side, however, 2 2-3-4-1s are pushing very aggressively. This airborne scouts, though, might be able to find a kill with the Gammon Bomb should these 2-3-4-1s come in range. And it seems as though Gnef is going to be moving those down into range. So let's see, shall we? Airborne scouts have been revealed due to the recon of the 2-3-4-1s, but only a driver wounded. Not exactly the result that Gallo-Neal was looking for there. Mosquito Pathfinder still strafing infantry and this half track, trying to get rid of that pressure in the centre so that Gallo-Neal can make some more ground. He's definitely going to have to rely on smoke, though. That's something that I feel is going to be necessary throughout this game for the 6th Airborne to continue to be relevant. But Gallo-Neal has found himself 313 points, which is a nice little start. 2-3-4-1 finds a kill onto the command up here. That is, I feel like a big mistake, especially with the arrival of this Tetrarch. That would have very much benefited from the extra veterancy going up against this 2341, because at close range, the 2341 can do a lot of damage to a Tetrarch, especially with things like criticals due to it being a 20mm autocannon. And just as I say that, spalling shooter wounded, that Tetrarch is not going to do anything anytime soon, and lucky it did not get side shot there actually as it reversed out of line of sight. In this town, it's still the engagement between the Panzergrenadiers and this 251-21. It's almost out of ammunition after firing for so long. There is a 3-inch mortar coming in on this bottom side, and that's what I like to see. I would like to see another one for the mid actually, just so that this infantry can start moving around a bit more freely under smoke cover. The LMG, that's trying to make a salient at the moment. 52% territory lead for Gnef has been found. Tetrarch going to be shooting at that from distance, reinforcing one coming in, but it looks like the one in this town here was killed. You can see it there tucked between the buildings, got burnt out by the 2341, and that is a very important kill there. Not losing that 2341 to the Tetrarch and finding the kill in its place is very nice indeed. So that's going to continue a +1 for Gnef, who is now counting up points on the board. 20mm autocannon now rip into shreds the airborne Bren group in the open. This Tetrarch is going to be going to the top side though, so it looks like Galileo is going to need another one to come to the center and deal with this armoured car. 3-inch mortar is under fire from the MG42 here. Hopefully though the Bren group can cover that off. Interesting stuff how Galileo let that be under fire from the MG42. Didn't get the 3-inch mortar killed. Definitely put it in a precarious situation. These airborne scouts not lasting very well either against an MG42 down here, and will be killed off. So recon lost on the bottom side for Galileo. However, it looks like this MG42 could go down. 2341 still using 20mm ammunition to hit the Bren group here. Speedstroop moving up behind as well, just to continue that very good optics recon. And look at this, Gnef has found his way into these buildings with 2 Panzergrenadiers. Now even with the Tetrarch here finding the bailout onto the 2341, it's going to be pretty hard to dislodge 2 units of Panzergrenadiers unless Gnef makes a mistake. Airborne Paras in this building, not really the best place to have airborne Paras as they can't really utilise their high HE at close range. But this Tetrarch is trying to run down the 2341 and maybe take things back to 50-50, which is exactly what's happened. First shot from this Panzerwerfer is going to kill the command on the bottom side though. Can it find the kill onto the 6-pounder? Because getting rid of the 6-pounder threat on the bottom would basically allow the half-tracks to run all over Galileo's infantry and the mortar down here. But at the moment things looking pretty light on the field for Gnef. There's not actually too much coming in as reinforcements either. There is a 250-10 with a Panzerschreck squad on the way, and that could actually be a half decent answer to the Tetrarchs, which isn't as expensive as a Puma. But here we now have the Panzergrenadiers under fire from the Tetrarchs. I'm surprised these Panzergrenadiers are in the forest and not in a building, as the building does provide a little bit more cover. But it seems as though both these Panzergrenadiers don't necessarily need to be firing right now. I personally probably would put them on return fire and then allow their infantry to get closer and then sort of engage them at like 300-meter range when these airborne Paras get a bit sort of over aggressive and try and get across the open here. But 2 units coming in from Galileo on that top side to try and deal with that incursion from Gnef. Down in the mid we see Pathfinders surrounded by the LMG, and the Piat does have a shot but is not firing. Mosquito is going to be coming in with the napalm bombs onto the Panzerwerfer, but not really the best choice. Panzerwerfer is not an open top vehicle, and that's where the points went. Gnef has bought 2 ME-109 G6 R6s. Feels it's very important for him to control the skies, and taking down a Mosquito Pathfinder would be the start of that. Very nice indeed. Gnef seems to have probably bought those after he saw the Mosquito Pathfinder the first time, and that was, well, that worked very well for him indeed. See the airborne paras here. Looks like they're going to get pinned down in the open. And likely surrendered. Yes, they will. To the 251. And the 250-10 is going to get a kill onto the Tetrarch. They bailed it out in one shot. Second shot actually hits the mark as well. Tetrarch goes down. Tetrarch's still alive on this top side, and it seems as though the airborne paras have made a dent into this area. Tempest has been brought in to hit the ME109 G6R6. It did put an oil leak onto one of the G6R6s, but there's still an ME109 on the tail of the Tempest, and surely it's only a matter of time until this Tempest gets forced to fall back, especially with the help of the Flak 36 coming in on the top side. Gnef is all over the skies today. And that is an extremely important kill. 2-star Tempest goes down. That is devastating for Gal O'Neill. Airborne paras clean up some recon out of Gnef. Panzergrenz only on 5 health left now. And it seems as though the 250-10 and 2341 have backed off a little for now. Cromwell 5 is on its way. We are in phase B. Might be time to see the big guns come out of Gnef. However, 53% territory lead for Gal O'Neill. With the investment in so much air superiority, I feel like Gnef has left himself quite dry on the ground. So it's really going to have to find a place to push. On the top side though, 2341 is going to find the kill onto the Tetrarch with the shooter wounded. That was very nice indeed. Oxenbucks could not find the range for the Piat. I think what happened there was the Tetrarch was on an attack move order, got its shooter knocked out so it couldn't fire, and then continued on the attack move order, showed its side armor, got killed by the 20mm very easily indeed. Oxenbucks going to miss their Piat, get themselves killed. And we also see the airborne paras forced to fall back here from an engagement with the Panzergrenz. That is not ideal at all. You never really want to see airborne paras at 100 meter range get forced back from Panzergrenz. That is just not, that just shouldn't happen. That's crazy. In the town though, smoke has arrived. Gal O'Neill's going to be using that to advance his airborne paras, advance his position in the centre of the map, where he has a large salient forming. On this bottom side, 6-pounder seems to have cleaned up a lot of the half-tracks. New half-track has arrived to threaten the airborne Bren group, and that 6-pounder is going to try and find a line of sight onto that eventually. But yeah, these 3-inch mortars, very important indeed. I'm glad that Gal O'Neill has brought in one to the centre, as that does give him the smoke in order to get these airborne paras rather far up. And there is a lot of room for manoeuvre here for Gal O'Neill. If he keeps up that smoke cover, he could take control of these buildings, and that is a lot of ground into enemy territory. Airborne paras though, on the top side, killed off by the 20mm autocannon of the 2341. We do see the Cromwell 5 advancing up the mid here. There is a ambushing Panzerschreck squad waiting to fire. You can see him aimed straight at him. Is he going to find the kill? It's coming into range. He's holding fire. He does have the range, and he misses. And the Cromwell 5 survives to fight another day against the Panzerschreck, and that Panzerschreck is going to get a second shot off. Only a driver wounded. Can he get the third shot? That air landing has arrived. Dingo's arrived. Third shot surely going to come off. Oh my. Not third time lucky for Gal O'Neill. Third time lucky for Gnef this time around. And that is a huge loss. With the pinning now of the 17-pounder and the death of the Cromwell 5. And it's exceptional play there from Gnef, getting the Panzerschreck into a very nice position indeed. Is going to leave this 17-pounder very vulnerable, as well as the Dingo. Dingo goes down to the 250-10. 2341 can clean up the 17-pounder. Panzergrenz can pin down the air landing in the open. This is going to be absolutely devastating for Gal O'Neill. He's going to lose a lot of ground on this top side if he's not too careful. He's definitely going to have to do something about this. Air landing. They get the Piat shot onto the 2341. That is incredible. Panzergrenz could probably jump out that building briefly to get a surrender, but are unlikely to, as he doesn't want to get himself pinned down by the Pathfinders. 250-10, going to be continuing the engagement there. Tetrarch coming in to engage from a longer range. But yeah, incredible stuff. Gnef's made some exceptional plays on the top side, 234 or 251-21. Going to be pinning down the Oxen Bucks on the bottom side of the town. More smoke is needed in the center here to keep these airborne paras from dying to fire support from Gnef. So the 17-pounder still pinned down. Tetrarch is going to be engaging the 250-10. Doesn't get forced to fall back, so then it's going to be able to drive to exactly where it wants to go. 17-pounder just going to be falling back. New Cromwell 5 has been brought in by Gallo-Neil. He does have 650 points, which is pretty good at this stage in the game, honestly. He's made his Phase A and Phase B work so far, but we're almost in Phase C, and that's when the Panzer Layer picks up 150 points per minute. And that's going to be the moment when we know who's going to win this game, because there's still all to play for in this one. Gnef, with that 150 points per minute, can really start to bring in the hurt. 17-pounder though, finding the kill onto the 250-10, and that is a very nice kill indeed. One shot, one kill. Does have 6 accuracy, so not unknown to do that, but no veterancy there. Surprising that worked out so well. Cromwell 5 now, with the death of the Panzerschreck squad, can probably be a bit more free to push on to the 251-21 and maybe make a lot of ground on this top side, honestly. There is nothing really here to stop the Cromwell 5 from pushing forwards, but Gnef is probably going to be wary of future, or Gallo-Neil's going to be wary of future Panzerschreck engagements. Doesn't want to get himself ambushed again, and I'm sure he's just going to be happy for now taking back this compound. In the town, it is going to be a Panzerwerfer coming down. Airborne Piet going to be engaging the spear troop at close range, but is dropped out of the church there. Going to let those reload, then fire again. At that close range, honestly, the Piet can kill off the spear troop quite nicely, but with the 251-21 helping out, things not going to go very well in favour of Gallo-Neil, for that Piet squad at least. On this top side, Cromwell 5 still advancing. Is assisted now by the Tetrarch. Looks like it's going to find the Flak 36 here. One shot takes that down to 2 health. Surely a second shot's just going to kill off the Flak 36. It's not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, due to AA not really being needed by Gnef anymore. He does have those 2 ME-109s on standby, and I think it's unlikely that with the 2-star Tempest shot down on Gallo-Neil's side of things that he's going to buy in any more aircraft for the rest of the game. But he is making a lot of ground. 55% territory lead. Gnef's in a terrible spot right here, but is moving into Phase C very shortly indeed. Cromwell 5 taking shots now at the 251-21. Tetrarch also on target. Vesper is going to be firing back. But we did see the purchase here of the Befell Panther from Gnef, and in this open ground that can very easily deal with the Tetrarch and the Cromwell. So if Gallo-Neil loses the Cromwell and the Tetrarch, he loses a lot of pressure on this top side, and there's the potential that Gnef will push through entirely with more infantry. But if Gallo-Neil spots the Befell Panther coming, he might be able to just keep his infantry and tanks defensive behind the tree lines, and that will make it actually hard for the Befell Panther to make any ground. In the middle, we can see the 3-inch mortar still firing away. Is going to help pin down some of the Panzergrams here. Also starting to pin down the 251 and the 251-21. So that's good, relieving a little bit of pressure there. But I'd still like to see smoke more than I would like to see HE rounds, because that's going to then allow the airborne paras to be covered. Mosquito here, going to be coming in with the bombing strike, goes for the ME-109 G6R6 as well. Tempest now coming in for that engagement. What is going to be the outcome? We're going to have to wait and see. The Mosquito there getting quite a nice amount of damage down. Somehow managed to strafe the ME-109 G6R6 quite a lot. This ME-109, it looks like Gnef is got one on each. The outcome of this air engagement is actually very important right now. Very important indeed. Okay, Mosquito gets onto the back of one of the ME-109s. That's 2v1. I'm pretty sure that Gallo is going to win out in this engagement. Unless that ME-109 gets onto the back of the Mosquito and gets the shutdown. Okay, this is going to leave Gallo in a pretty bad spot, yeah, especially with a 2-star Focke-Wulf 190 coming in to back it up. Mosquito coming in to bomb the Befell Panther. There is a 17-pounder here, which is going to be in line of sight. Driver has been knocked out of that Befell Panther as well. Mosquito is going to be engaging the ME-109 G6R6, but not really going to be able to get onto the tail of it. The Mosquito just doesn't have the turning capability and is going to get shot down. Okay, so Gallo really losing out again on the air engagement overall. 2 Mosquitoes down. I'm not sure if he lost his Tempest, but either way, that did bomb the Befell Panther, which is now under fire from both the 17-pounder and the Cromwell. Is that going to be a dead Befell Panther? That would be devastating for Gnef. It is! The Befell Panther goes down. Gallo in a very good position right now. Very good position indeed. Gnef now coming in with the Panzerwerfer. We see the 17-pounder being pinned down there. And it does get killed off by 1 strike from the Panzerwerfer. That is a big deal, because now if another Befell Panther arrives, there is not going to be much standing in its way. In the centre at the moment though, it seems like Gnef is actually making some ground. He's got his 251-21 to kill off a couple of units of infantry here. This Oxen Bucks though, might be able to find a kill onto the 251-1 half track. It seems like the Piat beat them to it though. I don't know, this is interesting because it seems as though Gallo has found himself a victory here. He's going up to 1,100 points, but he is under a lot of pressure. Like, there is a lot of reinforcement points coming in from Gnef. Like on this bottom side, the 251-21 and the 251-1 are now pushing onto this tree line, where there is the 6-pounder, but that 6-pounder can't just move into this tree line as it will come under fire from all of those vehicles. So currently Gallo sneaking it into the side here. He can probably try and take out this one. And then he can maybe try and take out the one at the bottom side of the town. It's going to be very important that he actually finds the kill, because if he comes under fire from 18 HE, it's going to do a lot of damage. Okay, 2 shots does the job. Nicely done. Now he's just got to find the kills onto these half tracks, and it seems like he has the potential to be overwhelmed here. 2 infantry squads coming in with the high veterancy. Can this Piat find a kill onto one of them? That will be important, if he can. He does not, and that is unfortunate for Gallo. Pioneers and the half-track there just going to run down that Piat, the airborne sniper revealing itself, also going to get killed off. Things not looking so good on the bottom side, but Gnef losing ground on the top side to Gallo. So Pioneers have been pinned down here by the mortar fire. Great job. I would like to see Gallo though push on those Pioneers with the Oxen Bucks. Airborne Paras engaging the Panzergrens at 100 meter range is going to work out in Gallo favour. Ooh, a nasty kill there onto Oxen Bucks by the looks of things. 2 units of infantry coming into the centre. We do see the Puma coming out on the top side. There's also a Pack 40 on the way. The Puma here is going to spot the air landing. Likely going to try and kill those off as quick as he can. On the bottom side, Gnef has found shots onto the 3-inch mortar here. Taking that out. Things aren't looking very good for Gallo on the bottom side. And after he had such an impressive lead, I feel like it could fall away from him here. He's still got 53% territory lead, so we can't quite call him out just yet. But Panzergren's there moving in and taking out the 6-pounder isn't very nice, because he's lost 1 more unit that he would otherwise use to deal with all of these half-tracks. Cromwell 5 might be a good choice. Just got to try and keep it safe. Make sure it doesn't get hit by the Panzerfaust or a Panzerschreck. Tech Truck was brought in on the bottom side as well, so that can also help out with this engagement. Cromwell 5. Can it find the kills without the veterancy? Because currently this is a 5 accuracy Cromwell. It's coming under quite heavy fire though. And honestly, it's going to get forced to fall back soon. No way. Don't tell me that Cromwell is going to get itself surrendered, because that would be absolutely horrific. Cromwell 5 does manage to stop the 251-21, thankfully. But in this town in the centre, things not really going very well. Oxen Bucks, looks like they managed to take out at least one of the half-tracks. But the second 2-star half-track really causing issues. ME109 G6R6 also wrecking some Oxen Bucks there. Wow, Cromwell 5 falling back in enemy territory. Challenger has been brought up behind, but that is a surrendered Cromwell 5. I'm not sure why that isn't moving, and that feels like very unlucky there for Gallo. Seems to be stuck on the building or something. Isn't actually running away. And this Tetrarch also dealt with now. Puma zooming in. That Puma, oh, it's going to be nasty. I think just the air support that Gnef can now bring in is really helping him across the board here. So Tetrarch there surrendered. The Cromwell 5 has recovered, but is still stuck. Oxen Bucks have been brought in to reinforce, but the amount of damage here that Gnef is doing across the board is incredible. He's found 56% territory lead. Gallo still wins in 11 minutes. But I feel like if Gnef goes for the +2, he might find himself a victory here, which would be rather unfortunate. Tempest does get onto the back of the Focke-Wulf 190 A8, and Gallo is going to get himself back a kill. But the Puma just took out the Challenger by shooting it in the side armor. Gnef there with a big play with the Puma. He's now taken out both the Cromwell and the Challenger on this bottom side. Fantastic job by Gnef. Like, managing to find the way back into this game. It kind of came out of nowhere all at once, but I think it's mainly down to the fact that Gnef has this 150 point reinforcement. He's just completely overwhelmed Gallo. And with the 6th Airborne, you really struggle for availability of units in the late game, because in phase A and B, you do bring in like most of your units, and you then have nothing left for the later phases, and here you really saw it come into effect. Brain Group still engaging Pioneers at close range, but with these Pioneers sneaking through this forest, might be able to find whether there are 20 HE power grenades on target. Puma's going to be looking for the engagement with the Puma. That has got to be engaged at 1,200 meter range though. But never mind. Panther A is on the field, and there's not really much a Challenger can do up against the Panther A. That Panther A can one-shot a Challenger, whereas the Challenger's got to get lucky to penetrate a Panther. Will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. The Panther has the inherent extra veterancy there. The Challenger does not. Both shots miss first time. Second time for the Panther. Second time for the Challenger. You can see just the difference in morale damage that these tanks are doing against each other. Third shot finds the kill. Panther just going to be able to push through there, kill all the reinforcements, and now, with this town area lost, things are looking really bad for Gallo, because this Panther and the Puma can hold back anything in the open. This mortar is the only thing holding the center town, especially after these Pioneers cleaned up the last infantry squad. And now this Puma is engaging this Staghound. Does have 2-star accuracy or 2-star veterancy over the Staghound's none. But it looks like the Staghound might be able to force the Puma to fall back. It depends if this Puma finds a kill on this shot. It doesn't. Staghound actually misses. Oh, this is just intense. Gallo is not going to win this game currently. Gnef finding the +2 is going to give him a minor victory in 8 minutes and 18 seconds. That is pretty damn crazy. Puma there, hitting the airborne paras. Air landing are going to be revealed. The 251 just doesn't care. Half track's just driving straight through. Oh, the air landing just saving the bacon of those paras, but air landing going to be pinned down themselves now and forced to surrender. Staghound also falling back. This is just devastating. Gallo was really playing very well around this Panzer Lehr division, but it seems as though moving into the later phases here just doesn't have the forces he needs to hold the ground. He has quite a lot of infantry left by the looks of things, but it's just not in the right positions. He can't have it fighting over the open like this. So yeah, that's just it's so bad. It's just like not bad, but unfortunate for Gallo. Maybe the more I think more use of smoke in this town would have definitely kept the threat up in this area. Maybe on the bottom side as well. Using those mortars to provide more smoke would have been a better idea, rather than trying to HE every unit. I think that would have been a good way to make his infantry more useful. But here we can see this mortar going down. That's going to push 72% territory lead in favour of Gnef. We see the 251-21 clean up the supply even. We see the Puma coming in onto the Staghound. On the top side, Mosquito is going to try and bomb out the Flak 88 and this Puma. That's going to find itself shot down very quickly by the ME-109 G6R6. However, the Focke-Wulf was dead, so yeah, I don't know. ME-109 has got the better turn, and there's also 2 SDKF Z71s coming in with the Flak-Verlings on those trucks. So yeah, things not really going to end very well for this Mosquito, I don't think. Tempest has been brought in though. Oh, very good timing there from Gallo. But the Mosquito now has been forced to fall back. So, just an engagement between the Tempest and an ME-109 G6R6. And it seems as though the Tempests will find the kill. Not really going to matter in the long run, since a +3 has been found for Gnef now. Counting up those points very quickly indeed. Puma here, just running over the Staghound. Staghound has a weapon jam. The Oxen Bucks are just pinned down in the open. Feldpanzer IV rolling up. Both of the challengers have been killed on the side of Gallo, so he doesn't have anything now to contest the armour of Gnef. He's relying solely on these Staghounds, and I don't think they're going to do the job, especially not on this bottom side. Looks like it was cleaned up. 88s have been moved a long way forwards from Gnef. Infantry's now being pinned down all over the place, and there is a 17-pounder on the field that does provide some threat to this Panther, but as long as Gnef just plays around that, he doesn't have to worry too much, and it seems as though those half-tracks did the job there, forcing back the Tempest, so not even a threat in the sky either. What was a 55% territory lead for Gallo is now a 73% territory lead for Gnef. What an amazing comeback in this game. Absolutely incredible stuff. The Feldpanzer IV and Puma going to be running down the airborne Bren group on this road. Also going to be engaging the Cromwell 6. And the Feldpanzer IV does the job. And, well, it looks like Gnef's going to be running all the way to the spawn at this rate. I thought that Gallo really had this in the bag, but it seems as though Gnef found a way in the latter phases to bring it back. Just the lack of availability of support units for Gallo, I think, was really what caused him to lose this so hard towards the end of the game. There's not going to be a single unit left on the field at this rate. We have a unit of Pathfinders here, behind enemy lines. This unit of Bren group's just gone. Staghound's probably going to get killed off. This Pathfinder just revealed itself. +5 for Gnef. I don't think we've seen a crushing victory this bad since, I don't know, any of the tournaments. 88% territory. It just shows you really how well you can come back if you just hold on for long enough. And it seems like Gnef, he was playing catch up for like the entire game, but when it came round to phase C, 150 points per minute, smashed through the 6th Airborne. And what an incredible game. Well played by Gnef there to bring it back, find himself the victory, puts himself at 3rd place in the Great Paradox Tourney, and that is going to be his confirmed position. Gallo taking 4th, being the runner-up, unfortunately, not finding himself a prize in this tournament. Gnef winning himself 1 title from Paradox. Very, very nice game indeed there to finish things off for this best of 3 series. So 2-0 to Gnef. Just really, really awesome games. And again, if you haven't checked out the last one, check that one out too, because both of these games have been incredible. Very, very nice indeed. Kills coming out here from the 6-pounder. 6-pounder did a lot of work on that bottom side. I believe that was this one. Piet there taking out 2 half-tracks is actually quite an achievement for a Piet squad. Cromwell 5 found the kill onto the Befel Panther. You're not often going to see that. But if we go to the losses, well, this Panzerwerfer taking out the pack on the top side definitely relinquished a lot of pressure there from Gallo and allowed Gnef to push on that top side to sort of level things out in the mid-game. 2, 3, 4, 1s though definitely ran all over Gal in the first sort of 10 to 20 minutes. These SBW 2, 3, 4, 1s were a very nice choice out of Gnef and not something that I would have necessarily thought of going into this match. I really expected to see the Puma Tetrarch matchup, but it turns out that the 2, 3, 4, 1s may have been the better choice. ME109 G6R6 took out multiple Mosquitoes and a 2-star Tempest. That is a very nice kill list for an ME109 G6R6. Then we have that Panzerstreck squad taking out the Cromwell 5. Again, just throwing things back in favour of Gnef. And Gnef was holding on, and I did like his investment of the ME109s in the sky, even though it left him kind of dry on the ground. And we did see that when like Gallo pushed through to like 55% territory lead. But it seemed like it didn't matter because in the phase C, like things just crazy in favour of Gnef. Just absolutely mental. Puma got the Cromwell 5 kill. This Puma got the Challenger kill on this bottom side. And then we had the Panther A finishing off the second Challenger. And after both those Challengers are gone, that's like any open ground contesting from Gallo is just gone. But either way, guys, that is everything. Well done to Gnef. Congratulations. 3rd place in the Great Paradox Tourney. Well played indeed. And well played, of course, to Gallo, who's going to be the 4th place runner-up. But that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.